guys, Jim Bowers back at you here, Demunseed on the YouTube network. Hey, today I'm here briefly just to talk to you about OSD. ezOSD specifically because that is the one that I personally use. It's the one I recommend if you want to get OSD going on your FPV system. Okay? OSD stands for on-screen display. It's basically telemetry. It's a HUD. If you know what a HUD is, it's a heads-up display that pilots use when they're flying. It gives them all their information in front of their face on their windshield. Well, that's basically what OSD does for you, is it gives you on-screen information. In this case, we're getting flight information or flight data live while you're in the air, and it's streaming back to either your goggles or your video ground station. So it's telling you all those things that you need to know. We're going to go over them here one at a time. Now this is a ground station LCD monitor. With a ground station monitor, you can fly FPV, and that's as opposed to using goggles to fly with. If you're using goggles, you're technically flying against FAA guidelines. They want you to keep line of sight with your aircraft at all times. So using a ground station monitor, you can refer to the monitor, but you can also look up and see your aircraft at all times. All right, we're going to take the Phantom 2, which has got a flight camera and ezOSD installed on it, and we're going to take it up for a spin around, and I'm going to tell you what all of the different data information tabs are for. This is what ezOSD looks like on the side of my Phantom. We've put a shelf unit on there that we offer, by the way, if you want to install one on your Phantom. But the ezOSD has a GPS puck on it, and that GPS puck there, the square silver thing in the middle, that needs to point directly at the sky. So we've installed it on the side of the Phantom, and it gets a clear view of the sky. If you look here on the bottom of the aircraft, you can see basically how the OSD system is hooked up. You've got the camera up in the front of the aircraft, which hooks to your video transmitter, which is right down here. Your video transmitter then hooks over to your OSD system. It's all relatively easy to figure out using the FATSHARK immersion plugs. Everything is pretty much plug and play. It's not difficult to figure it out, and each one of the ports is actually labeled to tell you what to plug into where. So piece of cake, anybody can do it if I can. Okay, we're going to take the Phantom up in the air here, and I'm going to show you a little bit about what each of the OSD labels means on the top and bottom of your screen. Now, the one thing I don't want you to trust is your altitude. The altitude on these OSD systems always seems to be off by anywhere from 10 to 100 feet. Once you're in the air for a while, they tend to settle down and they're a little bit more accurate. But when you first take off, don't trust what you see on your altitude reading. All right, let's take it around the block here a little bit. I do have a bit of a plug problem. My AV video plug doesn't quite match my ground station monitor, so I'm getting a little bit of static. Now this figure here in the top right corner, that's supposed to be the altitude, but it's way off. so I'm not trusting it. This 242 feet here in the top middle, that is your distance from home, or how far out you are from your home point, or from your radio actually. So this little circle here, the little radar circle, that is probably the most important thing on OSD. That little circle there's got an arrow in it. The arrow points back toward home. So no matter where you're at, spun around in different directions, you'll notice that that arrow changes directions with your aircraft. So all you've got to do in order to find your way back home is just turn in the direction of that arrow and follow that arrow back toward home again. So you can see how my video is now taking me back toward home because the arrow is now pointing straight up, which means go straight ahead. So if I continue going straight ahead, I'm eventually going to end up right back here. And then we have our speedometer. Notice over there on the far left-hand side at the top, that's our speedometer. So that's telling us how fast we're going in miles per hour. And you can get a Phantom up to about 35 or 40 miles an hour if you're really cooking. If you really want to get going fast, put it in ATTI mode, and you can really get going up to about 40, 42 miles an hour. And if you've really got balls of steel, then switch into manual mode, and that bugger will just cook across the ground. So there's your speedometer there in the top left corner. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, we have battery. Battery is probably second or maybe even more important than your return to home arrow. Battery's telling you what your battery is on the aircraft, and we're at 10.8 right now, which means we're going to have to land here very, very shortly, because you always want to land a Phantom in the 10.7 range. At right around 10.4, it's going to auto land itself. And you notice in the bottom middle here we have the current draw, and then over in the bottom right hand corner, total time in flight. And there it is, gang, the ezOSD system for your DJI Phantom or your Iris Plus. It'll adapt to either one, and it'll give you all that in-flight information. Hope I helped you a little bit. If you've got a comment or a question, just post it down below. And oh, by the way, the iOSD Mini is just as good, and some people think it's even better than the ezOSD system. So you can go either way, iOSD Mini or the ezOSD system. Get ezOSD on hobbyking.com. I'll post the price and the link down below for you. You guys have a great afternoon, and we'll see you soon. All right, bye-bye.